Alrighty, y'all. That was Tessellate by Ellie Goulding. Welcome. We are the Pop Culture Feminists. I'm Scout.
And I'm Lily.
And today we are talking... women of television. Sorry, I just forgot what our whole show was about for about half a second. We are talking media icons who are ladies. Specifically, we're going to be covering Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah Winfrey, Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett. Oh,
and
goodness.
some others.
No, there's a fifth one.
Is there a fifth?
There's a fifth one.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Awesome.
Today's a scatterbrain day, guys.
Figure it out.
All right. Well,
you know, some of you may be having a rough week, and that happens.
I think we should kick off with the woman who is our Woman of the Week this week, which is Oprah Winfrey. Lily, do you want to talk to us about why she is our Woman of the Week?
Yes. I would like to talk about why she is the Woman of the Week. Of course, you know, there's a lot to be said about Oprah, but specifically why we're talking about her this week is that she made it onto the list of Fortune's most powerful women on a list that was released this Monday.
International.
Yes.
So not just USA.
No.
Although they did seem very American-oriented.
Yeah. Well, that's to be expected. 51 most powerful women.
And Oprah rings in at number 51.
Number 51. She has been on this list previously in higher spots.
Yeah, I think in 2011 she was number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
1 year she was also number 50, getting towards the bottom. But and she was off the list for a while, as you know, she just wasn't making as much money, I guess. But she is back on the list for a couple of reasons. I think a change in her investment in Weight Watchers is one reason that she made it back on, which is interesting. And something interesting about this is she's not the only black woman on the list. There are, I think, 2 others. I saw 2 other black women on the list. She is the only black female CEO on the list, which is interesting in a list that is absolutely riddled with CEOs. But yeah, you know, and I try not to judge too harshly, but I think it says something that in a group of 51, like, very successful women, only 3 of them are black.
Yes, and to be clear, I'm pretty sure all of the rest of them were explicitly white, not...
Yes, no Latino or Asian women as far as I saw. Maybe I missed something. If I am, feel free to correct me. But
yeah, hit us up on Facebook if we're wrong. But I would agree. That's also what I saw.
Mm-hmm. Of course, this is a list. This is not the best. Yeah,
it's not the end all be all.
Yeah, it's not the best 51 women who ever lived. It's based on financials. It's based on amount of money that they're making. A group of wealthy women is what they're looking at. But I think you have to take into consideration that there's only 3 of some of the most successful women in the world are black women, and looking at the reasons behind that, why women find it harder to be financially successful and to enjoy positions of power in industry and as media moguls and as CEOs and as executives and things like that.
All right, so before we start diving into Oprah, I do want to apologize to our Facebook viewers because our live video has gone down. I think it's maybe the Wi-Fi, but we'll try and get that back up as soon as we can. But let's talk about Oprah, man.
Yeah.
What a, like, pardon the expression, but like rags to riches type of story.
Absolutely.
She's born into poverty in like rural Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, absolutely had to claw her way to the top because her life was one misfortune after another. I cried reading her story because, I mean, she was bounced around between parents who, well, I guess her father was slightly more supportive than her mother, but really neither of them were what you would call model parents.
Yeah.
And then she was sexually abused by 3 different men.
Wow.
An uncle, a cousin, and a family friend. Horrifically. You know, that's just horrifying. When she told her family about it, they basically said, shut up, you're lying.
Yeah.
And then, out of one of those, she became pregnant at 14. And then her son died, like, almost immediately before he was even a year old.
Yeah, that's
just
tragic.
This whole...
I've never heard that before, even.
Poor Oprah. And yet, here she is, you know, on the world's most powerful women list.
Yeah.
She was America's... This is such a specific category. I kind of laughed about this. But she was America's first black female multi-billionaire. But hello, when the word multi-billionaire is in there, does it even matter what words came before it? Like,
just I think internationally regarded as one of the most successful, influential women, and certainly black women in the world.
Yeah, and she's considered the most philanthropic person, regardless of gender or race, in American history, which is awesome. I mean, seriously, you know, a lot of times we get into people with multi-billionaires and we say there's literally no way you could ever spend all that much money in your life, because if you were just spending on yourself, I'm pretty sure that's true.
Yeah.
I don't think you could buy enough stuff.
Yeah, just an impossible amount of...
And so she uses it to help people in huge ways, and that's just amazing by my book.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's talk about how Oprah got to where she is, because I mean, honestly, inspiration. So after all these horrible things happened to her, she moved to Tennessee for the second time to live with her father. And she was on her high school speech team. That's how this all got started.
Yes.
Which I can appreciate so much, because I did speech and debate in high school, and I think it's awesome that that's how Oprah got her to start.
Yeah.
So those of you out there who are considering something like that, I mean, I guess probably we don't have a lot of, you know, younger listeners than us, but still, speech and debate, powerful tool, because she gave a nationally recognized speech and a dramatic interpretation, I believe.
Yeah.
And then she was hired by her local radio station to come on and co-anchor news.
Yes.
And from there, she got picked up by a local TV news station. And then she just got bounced around to a bunch of different stations until she had her own talk show. And, well, let's not forget about this, but a trivia question of the week relates to that.
But we're going to save that for a little later on, I believe.
Just a little bit. But, yeah, and then she basically turned this really low-rated talk show that they hadn't had any success with into an internationally syndicated TV show. And just so stellar.
Yes. She, her show replaced the talk show Donahue as the #1 daytime talk show in America within a few months, I believe.
Oh, yeah, very short amount of time.
Very shortly afterwards. Just a very swift rise, too.
And then, oh gosh, one of the other major talk show hosts, I believe, had some quote about, like, this after he saw her for the first time doing her show, he was like, I guarantee you she's gonna make, what did he say, like 5 or 10 times the revenue that my show makes in a year.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, people just recognized that spark in her immediately.
Yeah.
And of course, her talk show is mostly known for kind of being therapeutic in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Speaking with a lot of different people, certainly, who've had a lot of different experiences.
right. And I was reading somewhere that, I don't know, this just really struck me, is that the people who go on her show, they have what you might regard as like sob stories a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But because Oprah is such like a genuine person, they end up telling her things that they never thought they would tell anybody. This has happened many, many times. They never thought they would tell anyone face to like one-on-one, let alone on national TV. And it's just because she really cares. And I guess when you meet her, you can see the genuineness in her.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an interesting tidbit. In 1993, she hosted a primetime interview with Michael Jackson, which became the 4th most watched event in American television history.
Wow.
As well as the most watched interview ever. I don't know if that's to that point. I assume so, but for all I know, that's still the record. Just, of course, everyone wants to watch Michael Jackson, but also has to do with Oprah's interview, and perhaps another interviewer couldn't have scored that interview.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything that she does is very uniquely her.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, her talk show doesn't run anymore. Now she's
it
runs her own network.
Yeah.
Note the CEO part.
Mm-hmm. The OWN network. Is it called OWN or is it called OWN?
I think it's called OWN.
Really? I just always say OWN in my head.
I mean, that makes sense too.
It owns, I assume.
It does own.
But yeah, her talk show ran from 1983 and ended in 2011. But of course, we didn't see the last of Oprah in 2011.
Oh, absolutely
We've absolutely
not.
continued to see her.
That is, however, I think when she fell off the list the first time.
Yeah.
Is in 2011 when her show ended. But, she had other irons in the fire.
Absolutely. She also enjoyed a film career.
That's true.
She was in The Color Purple. Steven Spielberg, Did I just say Spielberg? Sorry, 1985. She was nominated for an Academy Award for that.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing about all 5 of these women we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
They're all
multiple,
highly decorated.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, she produced and starred in the film Beloved, which was based on a Toni Morrison novel, of course. Which, had to have been an intense experience. I don't know if you've read that book, but it's a very intense book. But, just a highly, highly decorated... she enjoyed, other small voice roles. She was in a Wrinkle in Time, the recent movie, which I know didn't do very well, but it looked to be an interesting sort of movie. It looked very interesting in its cinematography and its effects.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to toss in, I just learned that actually a Gaylord alumni is the president of the Oprah Winfrey Network.
Wow. I had no idea.
Is Eric Logan. He used to be a DJ here in OKC at KEBC Radio. So Gaylord is working with Oprah. I mean, president of her network. That's a stellar career move.
Yeah, absolutely. She's also a writer and a publisher, of course. Producer, talk show host, actress. That wasn't enough. She's also a publisher and a writer. She's co-authored 5 books. She wrote a memoir.
Only one.
She has. It did not. I don't think it's been published yet. It was scheduled for publication in 2017, and I don't actually think it's out yet. But I assume we'll be seeing that.
I hope so. I'd love to read that.
She publishes a magazine, as you might know. It's called O, which is
amazing. I actually didn't know that. I kind of forgot about it, but
it's amazing that it's called O.
Yeah. I mean, she's everywhere.
Oprah.com, satellite radio, the list just goes on, and that's not even counting all her philanthropic projects.
Oh,
Her work
absolutely.
with she's kind of the spokesperson for Weight Watchers right now, and Weight Watchers Freestyle and all of that, which is, you know, a very profitable industry. We won't get into diet culture and all that right now, but you know, a very
Right.
a very, very profitable, very influential, very well-known weight loss service, I guess you'd call it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, just a span of influence that I feel like very few women and even fewer black women have ever had in media or in anything, really.
Yeah, I mean, as we mentioned, she's known internationally.
Yeah. You know who she is.
Yeah, I don't imagine I could ever run into anyone. Well, I mean, not anyone, but many people who wouldn't know Oprah, at least in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. We will talk a little bit more about Oprah, and then we'll be switching over to Ellen Degeneres when we come back. But before we close out of this segment, I'm going to give you guys our trivia question since it is Oprah related.
Oprah. Oprah-esque.
The question is, what was the name of Oprah Winfrey's talk show when she first started running it, before, you know, she became the center of it? Again, the question is, what is the name of Oprah Winfrey's talk? What was the name of Oprah Winfrey's talk show when she first started running it? Answer when we come back. Alrighty, guys, we're using this as a substitute for Facebook. We will post this later, and also for YouTube because our YouTube stream's gonna die. So apologies to both of you for suddenly switching video in the middle of it. Now we are talking Ellen DeGeneres. However, before we get into Ellen DeGeneres, I still have a trivia question I have to answer.
Dun, dun, dun.
The question was, what was Oprah Winfrey's talk show called before it was called The Oprah Winfrey Show? The answer, AM Chicago. It was a talk show that they had been desperately trying to boost, but it was failing miserably as far as ratings went. And they brought Oprah Winfrey on as kind of a, not last-ditch effort, but like a, please, someone help us.
Yes.
And she blew it out of the water so much that they renamed it to The Oprah Winfrey Show.
Yes.
Alrighty, guys.
As they should.
Yes, of course. I mean, why would you not?
Mm-hmm.
So, right now, we're going to transition over into Ellen, and we actually have a cool little link-up story here. Lily, you want to tell us about that?
Yes. The link between Ellen and Oprah, obviously they're both talk show hosts, but actually Ellen first came out as a lesbian on the Oprah Winfrey Show back in
97.
1997, yes.
Yes. And it was kind of a cute little thing because Oprah at the time was also starring on the sitcom Ellen, of which Ellen DeGeneres was the star, and she was playing a therapist on the sitcom, and Ellen's character actually came out to her as a lesbian
in the
sitcom, and then, well, I don't know, I think she came out on the actual TV show first, like the Oprah Winfrey show first.
She did, and then she, as a parallel, came out on the sitcom to Oprah.
Which
so nice little
so cute. I love that story.
When her character came out as a lesbian on the show, that made her the first openly lesbian actress to play an open lesbian character on television.
Yeah.
You know, in 1997. Love it.
A little sad.
Little sad.
But at least it's not Disney not having a female director until 2015.
Yeah, true.
One of our previous weeks was
hard
about
to beat that.
Disney.
Yes.
And how they're a little behind the time on the
well, it wasn't everything.
Inclusion of females, women. Sorry.
Yes. Females. You
all right.
Females out there.
Yes, okay. So
yes.
At first everyone was pretty excited about Ellen coming out as gay. However, it did unfortunately hurt her career, which makes me sick to my heart because basically Disney owned whatever network was running her sitcom, Ellen.
Yes.
And Disney didn't like the fact that the sitcom had become all about working through like the
Gay
process of coming
issues,
out
yeah.
and being a lesbian in today's society. And so Disney stopped promoting it, and then it got canceled.
It went off the air in
like the next year.
Yeah, in May 1998.
After she had come out in 97.
Yeah.
So
which, left her in the lurch for a while. She didn't have as successful of a career for a while. She went back to stand-up, but as we know, she didn't stay out of the limelight forever, obviously, because you probably see her on TV almost every day.
Right. I mean, oh gosh. I think, when did she start the Ellen DeGeneres show?
I don't know. She actually had another sitcom for a while in 2001.
That's true. I forgot about that one because it was kind of less successful.
Short-lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she launched the Ellen DeGeneres show in September of 2003.
And then I believe she reached her 1,000th episode in 2006.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah, well,
3 years.
You do it every day.
I guess. It's just, that was crazy. Ellen, since we're talking about, media women who are also incredibly philanthropic, like, just, wow. Ellen, she, does her best to constantly help people, gives things away, and also she does some kind of fun stuff. Like for her high school reunion, she flew her whole graduating class out to LA to be the studio audience for her show.
Yeah,
which is wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then on top of that, she gave her high school a new like huge LED billboard thing for outside their
That's what I would do if I was wealthy. Be like, here, high school, what do you think of this? But her show had a lot of critical acclaim. Obviously it's still on the air 15 years later on down the line. It was nominated for 11 Daytime Emmy Awards in its first season, so that gives you a sense of how strong it started off. It is
absolutely one of the most decorated shows.
Yeah, it's won 25 Emmy Awards in the first 3 seasons on the air. Not just total.
Yeah.
In its first 3 seasons. But yeah. She was a judge on American Idol for a while.
For one season.
Well,
and then
you could say that all about a lot of celebrities.
I know, but Ellen she made a statement about how she didn't feel like that was the right atmosphere for her.
Well, yeah, I don't think so either.
Probably
it's hard to imagine Ellen judging people.
I know.
So that's probably what it was. She doesn't have that bone in her body.
No.
She also, you may have seen recently, she now has a game show.
Oh,
on NBC,
I heard about that.
Which is based on the games that she played on her talk show.
That's so fun.
That is so fun. I love her.
Plus, she's a huge activist.
Yes. Especially for LGBT rights.
And secondly most, I believe, is animal rights. She and her wife, Portia de Rossi, are hardcore vegans. They were actually going to open up their own vegan tapas restaurant.
Oh, I would go to that.
Well, unfortunately, it's not going to work out, so I hear, but I know, right?
It'd probably be busy all the time.
I'm not even vegan, but I would go there. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it would probably be too busy logistically just because they're very famous.
Yeah.
But yeah, you may not know this, or this information may shock you, but Ellen DeGeneres is 60 years old.
I know.
And if you look at her face, you would not believe it. She doesn't look a day over.
Crazy.
She looks like she might be in her 40s, but definitely not 60.
Yeah, like 40 tops.
Yeah.
How does she do it? I don't know. Plus, she has her own, like, brand of all sorts of stuff. Clothes, home goods.
Dog or cat.
Yes,
she has a pet thing. I see it all the time when I go to the pet store.
a specific baby line.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
She just does everything. Is she the one who was encouraging people to adopt a turkey on Thanksgiving?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, but that sounds like her.
Anyway, well, one of these ladies we were talking about,
She
in
also,
our research we learned was really all about adopting turkeys on Thanksgiving, and I want to say it was Ellen DeGeneres. Maybe Lily can confirm that for me. But just, she's all over it. She gives to people, she gives to animals, wants everyone to have equal rights. Oh, and by the way, she's super rich and successful.
Yeah.
And young looking.
She's
She's got it all.
she's Dory in the Finding Nemo movies.
Yes, which she
had.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Color me surprised. She won an award for Dory in Finding Nemo, but not in Finding Dory.
Interesting. Well,
How sad is that?
Sequels rarely do as well, so that.
Finding Dory was such a good movie, though.
I believe you. She, I don't know. I feel like there was something else I was going to say about it. Oh, she has I know, President Barack Obama gave her an award. I don't know what exactly that's called.
Oh,
Presidential Medal of Honor, perhaps?
Freedom, I believe.
Freedom Award.
Yes, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yeah.
Because of all of her work.
I know. It was amazing to watch her receive that.
Wait, hop back to Oprah
crying.
for a second. Oprah also, I believe, has the same award or a similar award, and she got an honorary doctorate from both, I want to say, Harvard and Yale.
That sounds
but
right.
two of the Ivy League schools. May not have been those exact two.
Yeah.
But
amazing.
How wild is that?
Yeah, it was the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which she received in 2016.
That was a beautiful video. I remember that.
Yeah, her crying as President Obama awarded her with that. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing award to win if you're not. I mean, I guess media people have won it, but just you can't really picture the president giving you an award when you start doing a talk show.
Oh yeah, I mean, but
your influence has to be amazing,
and hers is.
Yeah, and yeah, we did mention she is wed. She was married in 2008, I believe, to
that's correct.
her longtime girlfriend Portia de Rossi, who
well,
is a
4 years, but yeah.
Her who is a model. Or was a model.
And an actress.
She's written a book as well. I'm
yeah.
sure. Well, but this isn't about Portia. I'm sorry. We didn't do a lot of research
Portia.
on her. But she's an amazing, beautiful, talented woman as well.
I can tell you that she stars in both Ally McBeal, which is an older TV show for those of you not familiar, and Arrested Development.
Yes.
Both excellent shows, and Portia de Rossi is very talented. Yeah. Okay. So, if it's okay with Lily, we're going to move on to our next person.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Ellen has cited 2 of our next 3 women as her inspirations, her influences for what she does and who she is. And I figure we'll just kick it off with, I'm going to go with probably the more well-known one, which is Lucille Ball, a.k.a. Lucy from I Love Lucy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Talk about a woman in media who had a huge lasting impact on TV.
Okay, can I just point out that I had no idea that she was born in 1911?
Yeah, wow.
Mind blown.
Yeah. She passed away in 1989, so she's a good long life there.
Well, yeah, she still passed away from health complications, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, just one of the most successful and early women in media. Mm-hmm. She was actually the first female CEO of a media company, a production company, which was Desilu Industries company?
Desilu Productions.
Yes, well, perfect.
Desi, of course, being her husband.
Ex-husband.
Or ex-husband, Desi Arnaz.
Yes. Yeah, they started the company together, but then whenever they got a divorce, she bought him out and decided to run the company all by herself.
That's hysterical. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, really, it was phenomenal. I'm sure she was probably the first, like, co-owner of a production company, female co-owner, and then here she is, the first female CEO of a production company. And I mean, Desilu Productions, if you're not familiar, brought us such things as Star Trek, the TV show. Hello.
Which also contains a very iconic and important female.
Oh, yes. Oh, we forgot to program her into the show. Oh, my
Nichelle
goodness.
Nichols.
We love you.
If you want to do your own side research on Nichelle Nichols, I would really, really recommend it, because she did very amazing things for TV, for Black women, and later influenced, Whoopi Goldberg, who was also on a different Star Trek series to be able to picture herself in such a role. But that's our little side
a side note about Nichelle Nichols. Yeah.
But returning to Lucille Ball.
Right. Okay. So this is another sort of, I mean, not quite the same tale of heartbreak that Oprah faced, but she had kind of a hard start. Her dad died when she was young, and then I don't know, she just had a lot going on in her early life. I don't even remember all the details, but there was just so much going on. I encourage you to read into Lucille Ball's early life. But then she just worked her way in as a model, and she kind of did whatever it took, clawed her way to the top, and then she was on a radio show, I believe for CBS Radio, playing basically the same character she plays in I Love Lucy, but with a different person playing the husband. Right. And people loved the radio show so much that they wanted to turn it into a TV show, and she said, I'll do it, but only if I can do it with my actual husband, Desi Arnaz. And the studio basically told her, no way, because, she's this all-American redhead sweetheart, and he's a Cuban-American band leader, I think. Yeah. Whatever. He's not notable, I guess.
Yeah.
No. CBS was like, I don't think anyone will buy you guys as a couple.
Oh, even they were literally a real couple in real life.
Anyway, and
that's
so
hysterical.
They kind of
hysterical. It's bad.
Yeah, I know, it's really kind of sad, but so Desi and Lucy were like, okay, well, if you don't want us, then see ya. And they took off and did their own little like comedy show for a while. I think maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe even less than that, actually. But their comedy show was doing so incredibly well that CBS called her up and was like, hey, so, just kidding. Of course Desi can be on the show. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Now
Did we say no before?
We didn't mean that.
Of course. We didn't mean that.
Oy,
And thus began one of the most memorable, iconic sitcoms ever to be created.
The most wacky.
Yeah, very wacky.
Honestly, just such a sweet, inspiring show.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything more that you can say about it. If you haven't seen it, go sit down and watch a few episodes of I Love Lucy.
Yeah. A great spirit in that show is what I would say about it.
Yeah, and I think I was reading that was like the first show to film in front of a live audience.
Wow. Yeah.
I think, well, I mean, like a sitcom.
Yeah.
I think so. Oh, I read so much about these women over the past couple days. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I mix these things up. Yeah, I believe that's correct because there's one particular episode where Desi and Lucy are trying to learn the tango.
Yeah.
And there was a scene where the audience just laughed so loud for so long throughout the entire scene that the sound mixers had to like cut the audience track because they couldn't do it.
They couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, like they couldn't tone it down.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, that just goes to show you the absolute chemistry they had. Unfortunately, they did divorce right after the end of that show, I guess.
Yeah. I imagine that would put a strain on your relationship, potentially. I mean, I don't want to speculate, but...
Well, listen, Wikipedia gave some reasons, but they didn't have a source attached to them, so I'm not going to roll with them.
All right.
Yeah, but then, like I said, Lucy went on to do her own thing. She ran a production company. She got Star Trek and then the old Mission Impossible TV show series.
She had other sitcoms on CBS, The Lucy Show and Here's Lucy, which I don't know why they were separate because Here's Lucy was literally right after The Lucy Show. I don't know.
Well, I think a lot of her
studios do that.
A lot of her shows after I Love Lucy were just short-lived little shows.
Yeah. I mean, 4 and 6 years respectively. Which
okay. Well, that's longer than I thought it was. Yeah, for
wasn't
sure.
Like one season. I'm sure carried by her.
Oh, yeah,
her
absolutely.
Fantastic reputation. So,
Alrighty, guys. When we come back, we will be talking about Carol Burnett, who was longtime friends with Lucille Ball, and another inspiration of Ellen DeGeneres. Alright. See you in a moment. We have already talked about Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, and Lucille Ball. Right now, we are jumping into Carol Burnett, who was very dear friends with Lucille Ball. And in fact, there's a little bit of a heart-breaking story there, but hopefully we have time to get to that. But Carol Burnett, much like the other women we've been talking about, was just a well-known, I guess, variety show host. She had the
Actress,
Carol Burnett Show.
Comedian,
right.
etc., etc. Yeah, groundbreaking television variety show, Carol Burnett Show.
Right.
First of its kind to be hosted by a woman.
Yes, actually, that was kind of a funny, and by funny I mean sexist, thing. She had done a show with a network. You'll have to remind me what the name of that show was. But basically, they had promised her if she did so many seasons of this show, they would guarantee her one season of whatever kind of show she wanted to do. That was written into her contract. Yeah. And so when she fulfilled her end of the bargain. She said, okay, well, I want my show to be a variety show. And the network was like, wait, no. They literally said, women aren't, like, funny enough to do variety shows. And she said, you guaranteed me any kind of show I wanted to do. I want to do a variety show. And they said, they kind of drug their feet and they just said, okay, well, we can't breach our contract. But I don't think they promoted it very well at first because they didn't want people to watch it because they thought it was going to be bad. But it turns out, this turned into the Carol Burnett Show, which was groundbreaking variety show hosted by women.
You've heard of it, so probably most people, I assume, have heard of that. Even if you don't know anything about it, I think you've heard the Carol Burnett Show before.
Right. I love that our theme tonight, we're talking about female TV icons, but we've got the Ellen DeGeneres Show, the Oprah Winfrey Show, the Carol Burnett Show, and we're talking about the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Oh, goodness.
Just all of it.
We've got a call coming in.
We've got a phone call. Who dat?
Hello. Oh.
That didn't work.
Nope, wrong phone. Hello. Hello. Oh, goodness. Okay, well.
Well, I'm sorry for that. We had a kind of an awkward pause there.
Apologies.
We were receiving a phone call. I don't know who it was.
All right, it was probably our station manager.
Apologies.
I'll get to him in a moment. But we are talking about Carol Burnett.
We are.
So yeah, she had her own show, just like many of the people we've been talking about. I'm trying to remember. How did she get her start? I believe she was the one who was in the Happy Elf commercial?
No, that is Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh, goodness gracious. Sorry. We've been doing so much research about these TV icons, and they all have really awesome, success stories where they started from the ground just getting these small roles and then become, huge icons. All right, Lily, remind me, how did Carol Burnett get her start?
She was in New York working other jobs. She wasn't really getting acting jobs, and she and some other girls living at the rehearsal club boarding house that was exclusively for women who were pursuing an acting career, which is interesting.
Oh, yeah, they put on this huge show.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And invited a lot
came.
of stars and agents and things like that. And this opened, doors for lots of those young women, including Carol Burnett. She was in the Paul Winchell and Jerry Mahoney show, which I actually haven't heard of.
Me either.
That led to her starring role in the sitcom Stanley in 1956. She was unemployed for a little while after that, and then she actually enjoyed her first true taste of success was on Broadway, actually.
Oh yeah, that's right. In
Once Upon a Mattress.
Yes, that one.
She was nominated for a Tony Award for that. And then that's later that same year is when she was on The Gary Moore Show, which was the show that she was contractually obligated to stay in for.
And then once she did 5, I think, seasons of The Gary Moore Show, she got to do her own show, which was awesome. All right. So unfortunately, we are running out of time here since we're having a shorter show today due to OU hockey, which, by the way, if you haven't heard us say this yet, tune in to OU hockey. I have heard our team is phenomenal.
Yes.
It's coming up right after us. I believe it's going live at 7:45.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell that story real quick about Lucille Ball and Carol Burnett just because it's so sweet and kind of sad. Okay, so they were great friends. They both were on each other's shows. I mean, just lifelong. Carol Burnett was actually a little older, and she was kind of a mentor to Lucille Ball, but then Lucy gained, obviously her own prominence. But Lucy used to send Carol flowers on her birthday every year, which is just kind of a sweet friend thing. And for those of you who don't know, Carol Burnett is still alive today. And as we discussed, Lucille Ball passed away in 1989. Anyway, so on the morning of Carol Burnett's 56th birthday, she woke up and saw on the news that Lucy had passed away. And she was really sad. But later that day, the flowers still showed up and they said, happy birthday, love Lucy.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
It's really sweet and it's really sad. But anyway, they were just wonderful friends. We will have to talk about Mary Tyler Moore on our next show. By the way, guys, tune in next week. We are going to have one of the OKC's own Victory Dolls. That is our roller derby league. Right here in the studio on the show with us. We'll be talking about roller derby and we'll be talking about the film Whip It.
Yes.
What's legit, what's realistic about it, what isn't. Anyway, and we'll also catch up and talk a little bit about Mary Tyler Moore since we didn't get to her today.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys, we're going to play you out with some Lana Del Rey and catch us next week. Bye.